Hello and welcome to this app tour for the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app. We like to do these app tours because there's so many things that you can do with the church app, and this helps you to understand everything that's possible with the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app. So this app we have just downloaded from the App Store, so you're getting to see what it's like to use it for the first time. And what you already see here is that I can deep press on the app icon on iOS, or I can long press on it for quick actions on Android or shortcuts on Android, and that allows me to dive into specific sections of the app. You can see I can dive into sermon notes, messages, calendar, contact, and this just gives you one small example of something you might not even know existed if you weren't watching this video to see just this one thing you can do with the app. But there's so many different things. So instead of tapping one of these options, I'm going to go ahead and tap the icon and open the app like normal. So I'm diving into the app now, and you can see on this first session, so this is the first time the app's been used since it was downloaded from the App Store. It's asking me if I want to allow notifications. If you're on an Android device, it won't ask you this because it automatically opts you on for notifications. That's just how Android works. But we highly advise, if you're on an iOS device like an iPhone or an iPad, that you allow notifications, because this gives you a great way for Beaver Dam Baptist Church to be able to contact you. So I'm going to go ahead and press allow. Now that I've allowed notifications, there's one more thing I should do with notifications, and one more thing you should probably do the first time you use the app. And you can see here in the home section in the top right corner of the screen, there's a paper airplane. I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you can see this takes me to where I can additionally or add a few additional notification categories. And what this is that Beaver Dam Baptist Church can send notifications out to the whole church. So when I allowed notifications there when I opened the app for the first time, I said, okay, I will accept notifications that are sent out to the whole church. Now what you can do here is accept notifications that are sent out to specific groups. So if Beaver Dam Baptist Church wants to send out a notification that's relevant to the youth or to the preschool or to people involved in the music ministry, they can send out a notification just to the people that want those notifications. So let's say I have children throughout the church. I'm going to say I want to get youth, children, and preschool notifications, but I don't want music ministry notifications. So now if a push notification goes out sent to the music ministry, I won't even know it happened. But if anything goes out to any of the children's ministry, preschool, youth, any of those, I will be notified as that goes out. And this allows Beaver Dam Baptist Church to be able to send out a notification to youth once a week, to children once a week, to preschool once a week, to music once a week, and to the whole church once a week. Well, that's going to be 5 notifications. But if they weren't set up in groups like this, and everyone's getting all of the youth notifications and all of the children's notifications, you can feel like you're getting a lot of notifications from the church that you don't care about. But now you're able to actually control which of those notifications you get. So with that said, we've got notifications taken care of. Definitely something you want to do the first time you open the app. I'm going to go ahead and press the back button in the top left corner, and now I'm back in the home section. So the basic layout of the app is you have your home section here, which gives you access to most of the app from here, and this is where the app will always open to. But you can see at the bottom of the screen you have tabs for notes, messages, calendar, and contact, and you will have access to those areas of the app from no matter where you go in the app, as long as you stay in the app. And I say as long as you stay in the app because you see that first tile in the top left corner of the screen is Bible, and what that does is it actually takes you right into the YouVersion Bible app if you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you can see I don't have the YouVersion Bible app installed. So it asks me if I would like to install the the Bible app, so that I can access it from within the app. So if you use the Facebook app on your phone, you understand how Facebook integrates with Messenger. That makes it so if you're inside Facebook and you press the Messenger button, it opens the Messenger app. It almost feels like you're staying in the same app even though you're not. And that's exactly how this works. It helps the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app work with the YouVersion Bible app, so it almost feels like the two apps are the same app and they work together like that. So since I don't have the Bible app downloaded right now, I could press the download button and it'll take me right to the App Store where I can download it. And then next time I press that Bible button, it'll take me right into the YouVersion app. The website button will let me access the Bible from the web. I'll go ahead and press that right now. It'll take me right into viewing the YouVersion Bible on the web. We highly advise downloading the YouVersion Bible app because it's much easier to access and to read and keep track of what you've been reading that way. But we do include the ability to be able to access it within the app on the web like this, just in case for any reason you want to do that. So that gives you an idea of what's possible with the Bible. It's a really neat integration, gives you the ability to handle it however you want. Next up is the Connect card in the top right corner. Gives you access to the Beaver Dam Baptist Church Connect card. And the cool thing here is on Sunday morning, you probably have the ability to fill out a Connect card, or someone visiting can fill out a Connect card. But sometimes it can feel awkward to do that, feel like you all have everybody watching you. And this gives you the ability to be able to fill out a Connect card any time of the week from within the app, not feeling like anybody's watching you, and just submit it online. And it just makes it so much easier to be able to get that Connect card submitted. Let's press back, and next up is weekly messages, which is an archive of all of the previous week's messages. And you can see these messages are actually divided by sermon series, making it much easier to digest a single sermon series or find that sermon you're looking for if you remember what series it's from. And each of these series has a beautiful sermon series graphic associated with it. And as more and more series come in the future, you'll see these series graphics show up in the app along with the sermon series. So you can see the newest sermon series is always at the top. That's going to be your Summer Stories sermon series. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Summer Stories. And you can see the newest sermon in Summer Stories is going to be at the top of this list. And you can see the date associated with those. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Letters of Recommendation, which is the third one from the top. And this takes me into where I can actually access that specific sermon, Letters of Recommendation from Beaver Dam Baptist Church. And you can see from here I have the ability to listen to the audio for the sermon. I can download the sermon, or I can even view the sermon notes for the sermon. So weeks later, what I could do is actually listen to the audio and read through the sermon notes as I'm listening, which obviously isn't going to quite give me the Sunday morning experience, but it actually gets me pretty close, which is a really cool way to go back and access a sermon if for some reason I miss a Sunday or I want to experience a Sunday again. So you see you have a listen to audio button, which will let you actually listen to the audio, and that will stream the audio. So you're going to be using data if you're not at home on Wi-Fi. And if you wanted to be able to download a sermon while you're on Wi-Fi and then say go out running, which is something I love to do, or go out driving, or whatever you want to do away from home, you can download the sermon while on Wi-Fi, and that's what this button next to the listen to audio button is. I'm going to go ahead and press that now, and it's going to start downloading the sermon. You can see that box now fills as the sermon is downloaded, and then once it finishes filling, it tells you that you can now listen offline. And now that sermon is downloaded, so now when I try to listen to it, or I shouldn't say, now when I listen to it, I'm going to listen to the downloaded version and not stream it any longer. And as long as the sermon is downloaded, you will always listen to the downloaded version. So I'm going to go ahead and press listen to audio now, and it takes me right in to where I can start listening. You can see how fast it started playing, whereas if I hadn't downloaded it, it would have probably taken about 5 to 10 seconds to buffer the sermon before it would start playing. And I can drag my finger along below where you can see the counting up and counting down going on, and that lets me scrub to wherever I want to go, and it'll scrub really fast and start playing because the sermon is now downloaded. You can also see that you have that fun animation along the bottom of the screen showing that there's audio playing. Now, not only is that a fun way to see that audio is playing, but if I go ahead and press the home button, so you can see at the bottom of the screen, I'm in the messages tab because I went into the messages section. If I press the home tab in the middle, you can see that that little animation follows me throughout the app. And there's a great reason for this. Oftentimes, if you're listening to audio within an app, you can end up going throughout the app while the audio is playing and then have no idea how to get back to the audio again, which is a very frustrating scenario because now you have audio playing on your phone, and sure, you could back out of the app and go into Control Center or whatever and take care of it, but this gives you the ability while you're in the app, all you need to do is touch that animation and it will take you right back to the audio that's playing from anywhere in the app, making it really easy to get back here and take care of it. And then if I press pause, you can see it just drops off, and then if I go away, that's gone now. So the animation only plays if the sermon is playing. So I'm going to go ahead and press the back button in the top left corner, and this takes me back to the sermon details for the sermon I'm listening to. So I just listened to the sermon. It's fantastic. Or let's say it's Monday or Tuesday. The sermon just got posted in the app. I loved the sermon on Sunday, and I really want to share it with someone. In the top right corner, you can see there's a share button. And this allows you to be able to share a sermon by texting, by email, Facebook, Twitter, any way you really want, social media, or just contacting someone directly. So now if I feel like this message is going to mean something to someone personally, I can send it to them directly with email or through email or by text. Or if I just want to share it with everyone, I can go ahead on Twitter and Facebook and post this message. It gives you the ability to share that, and what it's going to do is actually share a link to the MP3, so you can post a little message about what the what the message meant to you, and then there's going to be that MP3 included, so someone can listen to it right there from wherever they saw the message that you posted, which is a great way to share sermons from Beaver Dam Baptist Church. I'm going to go ahead and press the back button. Well, actually, first, on this screen, you can see there's an X next to listen to audio, and what that will do is it will allow me to delete the sermon that I downloaded. It won't remove this sermon from the app altogether so I can't stream it, but it'll make it so it's no longer downloaded, so it's not taking up space on my phone. So in the top left corner, I'm going to press back, and then I'm going to press back again. And now we're back in the messages section where I can see a list of all of the sermon series. You can see in the top right corner there's a folder. That folder gives me access to all of my downloaded sermons. So here you can see summer stories, and there's letter of recommendation. So let's say I'm pressing back now again, and let's say here in the downloaded section I have a bunch of different sermons downloaded. As an example, let's just go ahead and go into matter of honor life, and I'm going to download this sermon as well as an example. So as this is downloading, once this finishes, and this is a bigger sermon, so it's going to take a second to finish, but once this finishes, it's going to show that A Matter of Honor is also in the download section of the app. So now I have two different sermon series, and the download section of the app is neat because it's still sorts your sermons by sermon series, so all of your downloaded sermons are much easier to manage as well. So now as soon as that's done, now that there's an X there, that means it's downloaded. So now if I go to the download section here, there's A Matter of Honor and Summer Stories. And I can go, just like I went before, go into these, go in deeper, and then I can actually listen to it, share it, or whatever I want to do. And I can also delete it from there. But let's say I have, 20 or 30 sermons downloaded at this point. Well, it could be kind of annoying to try to delete all of them. So that's why we have this trash can in the top right corner. I'm going to press it. And what it does is it allows you to delete all of the sermons that you have downloaded. Now remember, this doesn't remove the ability to listen to them in the app. It just makes it so you're not taking up space on your phone any longer. It just clears up all of that space for you so you can start downloading more sermons. So that's a way that we try to make it so it's really easy to manage sermons, listen to sermons, find sermons, and hopefully you can see the power of the messages section in the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app. I'm going to go ahead and press the home tile again there in the bottom in the middle. And next up is sermon notes. So I'm going to press the sermon notes tile there on the left in the middle, and you can see in the bottom left corner of the screen also the notes tab got highlighted because it's the same section of the app. Now what notes are is the sermon outline for Sunday's sermon. So as you come to church on Sunday morning, you can open up the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app, and you can go in here and you can see the sermon outline for Sunday's sermon. And you can see at the top of the screen, it says, touch any section to take a note. So not only can I scroll through this and see the scripture and all the main points of the message, but I can also touch any section of the message and take my own personal note on that section. So let's touch this 2 Corinthians 4, 5 through 7 section. I'm going to say, I love what the pastor said. Wow, having a hard time typing what the pastor said about this. And then I press add, and you can see next to 2 Corinthians 4, 5 through 7, there's a little symbol now that shows that I have taken a note on that section. So I can touch 2 Corinthians 4, 5 through 7 anywhere here. It takes me back in and I can see what I wrote. Now if I go down, the message continues, and I see this point where it's not about me, it's about Jesus as Lord, it's about serving. This is what it is about. I'm going to add, and then you can see it shows I took a note there. Now, as I take more and more notes, you can see even if I quickly scroll through on the left-hand side, it's pretty obvious where I've taken notes at. And I can touch back into any of those sections and see what note I wrote. Now, if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see there's an email sermon button, and you are absolutely going to want to use this if you take your own personal notes. So every week there's going to be new notes here, and if you don't email your own notes at the end of the sermon or throughout the week, when the next week's sermons are posted, your notes are going to be gone. But if you email them, I'm going to press that email button right now. If you press email, you can see there's the 2 Corinthians 4, 5 through 7 at the bottom of the screen, and there's my personal note that I wrote. I love what the pastor said about this. As I keep going, there's It's Not About Me, and you can see below that, this is what it is about. You can see all of my personal notes now are shown in line where I took them. So it's not like at the bottom of the email is a big blob of all the notes I took. No, they're shown exactly where you took them. So now you can easily reference your notes in this email. And what we hear is awesome stories is about people who have taken this. They'll email the notes to themselves, and then they'll make it so they set up a folder in their email client, and any email that comes from the app is automatically put in their folder. So now they can, after years, they can have hundreds of sermons, all of their sermon notes there, and they never really have to worry about losing them. Instead of having the traditional way to handle sermon notes, where you have paper which can easily be lost, you have limited room in the margins where you can write stuff, or just limited room where you can write stuff. Now you have unlimited space where you can take notes. So this is a super powerful way for you to be able to take notes, and it just looks really nice too. In the bottom right corner of this section, you can also see there's a magnifying glass with a plus and a magnifying glass with a minus. So if you don't like the default font, personally I like bigger fonts. My wife likes really small fonts. So she would come in here and immediately press that minus magnifying glass, and you can see it makes the font much smaller, way too small. Or you can press the plus magnifying glass and it'll make it much bigger. And next time you come into the app will remember what setting you had, and the font will be set that way for future sermon notes. All right, with that done, I'm going to go ahead and go back into the home section, pressing that home tab in the middle of the bottom of the screen. And next up is calendar. I'm going to press the calendar tab, and you can see here are all of the events coming up at Beaver Dam Baptist Church. And you can see Bible study, morning worship, youth ministry, and for each of these there's an add to calendar and an information button. So let's try pressing the information button for Bible study, and you can see it says there are no additional details for this event. Let's try youth ministry, and you can see for that one it says a few additional details. So if there are additional details for an event, when you press the information button, you'll be able to read those additional details. And what's even neater is if there's someone to contact for the event, there could be an email button here. If there's a website associated with the event, there could be a website button here. If there's registration associated with the event, there's even the ability to register for the event from directly within the app. And in all of those cases, it keeps you within the Beaver Dam Baptist Church app and lets you do all of that from within the app. And that makes the app very powerful, since you can see everything going on in the church and also be able to register, get additional details, and all of the other things associated with an event. Also, you can see there is the add to calendar button that I mentioned. So let's say for that morning worship on July 29th, I want to add that to my personal calendar. So what I mean by that is you're probably looking at this thing, we're looking at the calendar. Why would I want to add it to my calendar? But what you're looking at right now is Beaver Dam Baptist Church's calendar. What if you want to add it to your own personal calendar on your iPhone or Android phone or whatever? Well, that's what this does. If I press add to calendar, the first time that you ever press that button, it's going to ask for permission, because it's got to keep you safe. You wouldn't want stuff just to always be able to be added to your calendar without having to give permission to an app. I'm going to go ahead and give it permission, and it will say the event has been added. So now that I've done that once, I'll go down to youth ministry there, press add to calendar, and I don't have to give it permission again because I've already given it permission. So what this lets you do is scroll quickly through all of the events in the calendar and add all of the events that are relevant to you. And what's cool is my wife's calendar is synced up with my calendar, so when I add an event to my calendar, it's added to her calendar as well. So the whole family stays in sync just by me scrolling through really quickly and adding all of the events that are relevant to my family. And this is neat because oftentimes you may see a church calendar that lets you sync up with the calendar, but what that does is it requires you to sync all of the events on the entire calendar. And oftentimes, let's say you don't have a youth in the family or something like that. Well, you don't want to have that on your calendar over and over again. Well, this gives you the ability to go through and just find the things that are relevant to your family, making it really easy to scroll through, and probably in less than a minute, you can have the next few months of events added to your personal calendar. All right, so that covers what the calendar can do. I'm going to go ahead and press the home tab in the middle again, and I'm going to scroll down here. So we have 3 sections left. First of all is contact and information. I'm going to go ahead and press that, and this does exactly what you probably expect it to do. It gives you the ability to connect with Beaver Dam Baptist Church and also read about the staff at Beaver Dam Baptist Church. So the top option is to like us on Facebook. That will take you into the Facebook app. Remember how when we talked about the YouVersion Bible app, it took you right into the Bible app, just like you would go into Messenger from the Facebook app. This will take you into the Facebook app, just like Facebook would take you into the Messenger app. So it feels like Facebook is actually part of the app. You can also view the website, get directions to Beaver Dam Baptist Church, or contact Beaver Dam Baptist Church by email or by phone. Go ahead and press that home tab in the middle again. And next up is the worship playlist. And what the worship playlist is it connects into Spotify and gives you the ability to listen to Beaver Dam Baptist Church's worship playlist on Spotify. So I'm going to go ahead and press worship playlist. And remember, when I selected the Bible app, it asked me if I would download the Bible app because I didn't have it yet. If you don't have Spotify, it will do the same thing here and take you to go download Spotify. Now, note that you need to have an account set up with Spotify, but you can link it through Facebook, you can set it up by email, and you can have a free account. What you're seeing right here is a free Spotify account. I come in here, all I need to do is press shuffle play right there, and I'm immediately listening to Beaver Dam Baptist Church's worship playlist. And while I listen, I can press in the top left corner and it will take me right back into the app, and I can actually go through the app and be listening to the worship music from Beaver Dam Baptist Church while I'm using the app. So last of all is the website. Remember, we could access the website from the contact section, but this also just gives you another way to easily access the Beaver Dam Baptist Church website. And with that done, you've seen everything that you can do with the app and just how powerful it is, how you can access the sermon outline, how you can access archived messages, all of the events going on at church, and a bunch of other neat resources from Beaver Dam Baptist Church. If you have any questions about what's possible with the FaithLink app, please visit our website at faithlinkapps.com. Have a great day.